Griselda.
Hey my little gremlins, welcome back to True Crime with Griselda. Today I am still trying to write chapters or parts to continue my bedtime story. Haven't been feeling overly creative when it comes to that. That just kind of has to come to me. So I was drawn to the Wikipedia page for Wade Wilson. Now we all know Wikipedia can be edited, and it looks like the last time it was edited was yesterday. So the information may or may not be correct, but I want to see what it says about Wade Wilson on that page, and I wanted to read it with you guys. So when you search Wade Wilson on Wikipedia, it gives you a couple different options. One being, we know, the Deadpool character for the Marvel comic books. So we do have to click on Wade Wilson, criminal. It bothers me that they refer to him as the Deadpool killer, but it is what it is. The media ran with that one. So it says, Wade Stephen Wilson, born May 20th, 1994, is an American criminal convicted of the 2019 murders of Kristine Melton and Diane Ruiz. I'm going to add rest in peace to those sweet, beautiful angels in Cape Coral, Florida. Due to sharing the name of the Marvel character, better known as Deadpool, Wilson has been referred to in the media as the Deadpool killer. Wilson was sentenced to death in 2024 after being found guilty of first-degree murder, among other charges. Prior to the murders, Wilson had a criminal history dating back to 2012, including convictions for burglary, grand theft, and firearm offenses. Life and early crimes. Wade Stephen Wilson was born on May 20th, 1994, and was adopted by Steve and Candace Wilson and raised in Tallahassee, Florida, where he was attending Childs High School. Wilson, who was often described as troubled during his youth, reportedly engaged in minor criminal activities and substance abuse at an early age. He sustained multiple head injuries during his childhood and adolescence, which he later claimed contributed to his feelings of instability. Wilson's criminal history began in 2012, accumulating various arrests in Leon County for offenses including burglary, sexual assault, child cruelty, and firearms violations. In November of 2013, Wilson was sentenced to prison for burglary and grand theft, serving until September of 2014. In 2015, he faced charges of sexual battery and kidnapping after a woman accused him of raping her in his SUV following a party. However, a jury acquitted him of these charges. By 2017, Wilson was incarcerated again for stealing firearms, serving until July 2018. Later in 2018, he was implicated in the trial of Denise Williams, who was convicted of conspiring murder of her husband. During this time, Wilson allegedly attempted to fabricate evidence and even offered to kill Williams. On February 19, 2018, his former girlfriend reported that he had beaten and strangled her. Although she initially accused him of kidnapping and rape, investigators did not pursue the charges due to a lack of evidence and a no-contact order in place. On July 2019, Wilson was arrested for battery. The murders. On October 7, 2019, Wilson committed 2 murders within hours. The first victim, Kristine Melton, was strangled in her home after Wilson had met her at a live music bar. Later that day, Diane Ruiz, a mother of 2 and a bartender, was strangled and subsequently run over multiple times after being lured into Melton's car under false pretenses. He called his biological father, Stephen Testaseca, soon afterwards and confessed to murdering the women. Testaseca and his wife called the police, and Wilson was arrested the following day. He told the detectives he would be willing to do it again. Legal proceedings and public reaction. During legal proceedings, evidence of Wilson's mental health was presented, including testimony about his brain injuries. A neurologist testified that brain scans showed trauma and impairment, which might explain some of Wilson's impulsive behavior. However, experts for the prosecution argued that the drug abuse was a more significant factor in his actions. The defense claimed that Wilson's drug abuse could have impaired his judgment at the time of the crime. Wilson's father, Stephen Testaseca, testified against him in court, recounting details of his confession over the phone. Testaseca stated that his son ran over Ruiz after realizing she was not dead, and also could not explain his motives beyond, "I just wanted to do it." More than the required 8 out of the 12 jurors recommended the death penalty for Wilson, 9 for the murder of Melton, and 10 for the murder of Ruiz. Having the power to take or disregard the jury's suggestion, Judge Nicholas Thompson imposed 2 death sentences. Wilson is appealing the decision to the Supreme Court of Florida. Wilson's sentencing was marked by public interest and controversy, including numerous messages from individuals pleading for clemency. His case raised questions about the intersection of mental health, criminal behavior, and the justice system. The case attracted extensive media coverage, partly because of Wilson's common name with the well-known fictional character Wade Wilson, the secret identity of the Marvel character Deadpool. Public relations were mixed, with some expressing sympathy due to his mental health issues, while others focused on the brutality of his crimes. Incarceration. In prison, Wilson applied tattoos to himself, including that of a swastika. In 2023, he pleaded nolo contendere. So he pleaded no contest, not even going to try to pronounce Latin, to smuggling drugs into prison in exchange for having charges relating to an alleged escape attempt dropped. He was sentenced to a fine and 12 years in prison to be served concurrently with his death penalties. So this kind of just outlined his past, his upbringing, in a short overview of his legal proceedings and his conviction. I want to check this from time to time to see how often it changes or what details are added. It would be kind of interesting to see the kiosk girls tree added, a whole after his conviction, his recorded phone calls came out, and then it just outlines all of the research that people have put into. But that would really be glorifying the kiosk queens at this point. They have a few names now. They're the kiosk cockroaches, the kiosk cattle. That's one of my new favorites, and I started referring to them as the kiosk queens or the kiosk princesses. But it is interesting knowing that he did serve 2 previous stints in prison. And, we already knew about the 2014-2015 case that he was acquitted on, which I don't know how I feel about that one. But at this point, he is serving out those 2 death penalties that he was granted. So we're just kind of sitting around waiting. I know there was a recent update from Team Wade that had some horrendous, I guess we can't say spelling errors because they may be from another country. But the grammar wasn't proper. And I know that the grammar police hated that. I'll attach that here. They're denying that they did the merch now, even though I have seen that it has been tracked back to Florida at the very least, and it can be traced further than that to see exactly who started it and what all that's about. So I think I'm going to stay up a little while and do some research on that. But yeah, that's all that I have for you guys today. Like I said, I'll check back on the Wikipedia page from time to time. I also want to read into some different articles, and I'll be pulling up some articles along the Wade Wilson timeline to see how things progressed from the start of the case to now where we are with him serving out his death penalties and trying for an appeal. So until next time, stay safe and stay curious.